1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And actually, before I start, let me go put on my glasses really quick because I can't really see the TV from here. So I'll be right back. There we go. So yeah, welcome to Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Fair warning, this game is adorable as heck. I love it. It's so cute. Alright. So yeah, of course, just choose your preferred language. Since I don't know any languages besides English, I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, I have the male Pikachu this time. Hello there, glad to meet you. Welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Oak. People affectionately refer to me as a Pokemon professor. That's nowhere near the correct voice for Oak, but you know what? I'm trying, man. I'm trying my best. This world is inhabited far and wide by creatures called Pokemon. And if you want to know how people tend to interact with these Pokemon, well, some people keep them as companions, others have them do battle. As for myself, I study Pokemon as a profession. Now, why don't you tell me about yourself? Okay, so when I was doing my little research playthrough, I was playing as the female trainer. So I don't know if I want to go female again or if I want to stick with male. I don't like how aggressive the male trainer always looks. It doesn't really sit well with me. I'll just go female again. Why not? For name, who do I want to name her? Or how do I want to name her? Let's start with an S. And then let's move on to that. We're gonna name her Sunny. Yep, that's gonna be our character. Sunny. Alright, so your name is Sunny? Yes. Okay, so yeah, last time I had a female Pikachu. This time the Pikachu that you see running around here, that's the Pikachu that you're gonna wind up with. So this time it's a male. And the way that you can tell the difference between a male and a female Pikachu is the male Pikachu has like a straight, like typical anime Pikachu tail, you know, like the one that you see in the anime. The female Pikachu has a little curve in her tail that makes it look like a heart, and I think it's very cute. I kind of wish I got a girl again this time, but oh well, it's fine. This boy here is your friend and rival who has grown up next door to you. What was his name now? What's my rival's name? Let's start with the D, and then go over to an I, and then his name is gonna be DiGiorno. I think that's how you spell DiGiorno. Yeah. It was DiGiorno, was it? Yes, it was. I see. His name is DiGiorno. Hey, Pikachu. Pikachu likes to just pop up at random a lot. Sunny, my girl, your very own Pokemon tale is about to unfold. Yes, a world of dreams and adventures with Pokemon awaits. Let's go! Hey, that's the title. Roll credits. Sorry, that was a little CinemaSins joke. Well, not really a joke, a reference to one of their jokes that they always do. Anyway, welcome to Pokemon Let's Go. Once we get past the cutscenes, I give a proper introduction to this little Let's Play. Whoa. I have hands? Oh my gosh. That is kind of a strange way to begin your game. Like, what was she doing before this? So, we watched Pikachu kind of jump out of this television right here. And then when we were creating our character, Pikachu came and jumped out of what looked like a television screen. And then when we have our character show up, she's looking at her hands as if she doesn't know what they are. And then she's like looking around as if she doesn't know where she is. What's the story here? What's going on? That's a little strange. Anyway, so welcome to Pokemon Let's Go. Pikachu edition. I don't have the Eevee version. And, yeah, a fluffy Pikachu plush. And if you read the computer over here, you can get some basic controls. There's an email from DiGiorno. Hey Sonny, so here's what you need to know as a trainer. Press the A button and you can talk to all kinds of people, and if you tilt the control stick more, you can run. Plus, if you open up the main menu by pressing the X button, you can save your progress too. Boy, I can't wait to get started, can you? So, right off the bat, this game has several differences. So, main difference, you can play it with just one Joy-Con. You can play this entire game one-handed, the whole way through, and you get complete functionality with just one Joy-Con, which I think is a pretty awesome idea. For a while I was doing research, playing my first playthrough of this game, I was playing with one hand and writing down notes with the other hand at the same time, and it was cool. Like, you can also play with one hand and have a drink with the other hand, and it's just nice, So let's go ahead and press the X button, and you'll see we have the save feature unlocked by default. You can go ahead and save really quick. And this shows all of your stats for your adventure so far. Got your name, Sunny, your Pokemon ID number, which is 112043 for me. Every ID number is going to be different for every single player. The Pokédex shows the amount of Pokemon that you've caught, your money, 3,000 Pokédollars you start off with, how long you've been playing, and when your adventure began. And then if you notice on the right, you'll see those 8 silhouettes with little icons in the right corner. Those are all the gym leaders in the Kanto region, and those are all of their badges. And as you collect the badges, you get more of the portraits filled in. So, just a neat little way to keep your progress. Oh, also, I recommend going to your options setting from the menu and changing things around to fit your preferred style. So for me, I like text speed to be fast because I don't want to wait around for text to scroll all over the place. You can turn vibration on or off, I keep it on just because whatever, I don't really care. And you can adjust the volume for the background music, sound effects, and Pokemon cries. You can also choose to skip movies, but honestly the movies in this game are not that long. Maybe the longest one is a minute and a half. So there's no real reason to want to skip any of them. And yeah, you can go here to open up your Pokemon Go settings and then look at your controller settings. I think, I may have cut this out already, but for this playthrough of the game, I'm not going to be using the Go Park. And the Go Park is a place that you can import your Pokemon from Pokemon Go to catch in this game and use in this game. So for the purposes of this walkthrough, I will not be using that whatsoever. I will just assume that whoever's playing this game does not play Pokemon Go. I'll just be experiencing the game as it is by default. Alright, so that's enough expositing for right now. Let's head on downstairs. Oh wait, actually we can't because somebody's coming up. Up and at him. Hey, it's DiGiorno. Morning, Sonny. What's going on? You got one weird look on your face. Nah, never mind that. I couldn't wait any longer, so I came to get you. Today's finally the big day. We're finally gonna get our first Pokemon from Professor Oak and become real trainers. Oh, but before we do, you read the email I sent you yesterday, right? Yep, we just did that. You better have. Check your computer if you didn't. I'm gonna book it to the Professor Oak's lab. See you there. So, one thing about Pokemon that people weirdly don't seem to like that much is that over time, they made the rival trainers actually pretty nice. Also, this is our mom. Hey mom, off to go to Professor Oak's lab. Off to go to Professor Oak's lab. DiGiorno asked the professor to give the two of you Pokemon of your own, didn't he? So, throughout... Oh wait, I just realized I don't have my notes over here with me. Let's watch this cutscene really quick while I go get my notes. Okay, here we go. Alright. I'm back. So, yeah, over time, over the years, the rival trainer has gotten nicer and nicer. If you have been following Pokemon since the very beginning, way back in Gen 1, you remember that Gary/Blue was kind of a jerk. Kind of a really, really big jerk. And in Gold and Silver, the Generation 2 games, the rival was a literal criminal. They were really not very nice guys at all. But then from Generation 3, which was Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, and onward, your rivals have been surprisingly nice. They've just been kind of your friends, and then you just kind of go on an adventure, and then You're like, oh, I want to see who's the best. Oh, well, clearly whoever's playing the game is going to be the best one because you're playing the game and you're going to win. Anyway, oh, Sunny, Professor Oak isn't here. Do you think those Pokeballs hold the Pokemon you and I are supposed to get? I can't wait to get mine. So yeah, this is kind of a red herring. They tell you to go to Professor Oak's lab, but then he's not there. So you're like, oh no, what do I do? Where do I go? Well, just like in the original Pokemon Yellow, if I remember correctly, you actually come up here. Except in the original Pokemon Yellow, you walk up into the grass and then Oak stops you. Instead, you go up this time and you find Oak doing his thing. Well, my good Pidgey, thanks for the help. I think I understand you all a bit better now, thanks to this. Bye, Pidgey. Ah, if it isn't Sunny. Oh, of course. I promised to give you and DeJourna your Pokemon today, didn't I? Well, in that case, why don't we head over to... Oh, snap. That familiar sound. What's this? Pikachu is so freaking cute. Aww. Oh, well, okay, here we go. They just throw you right into it, too. Oh, you encountered a wild Pikachu. My, I surely wouldn't have expected a Pikachu to appear around here. But since the opportunity has presented itself, why don't we practice some Pokemon catching? You just have to throw out your Pokeball and try to land it on a wild Pokemon for the chance to catch it. So yeah, so catching in this game. Another thing is that's wildly different from any previous Pokemon game. They tried to emulate the Pokemon Go style of catching, where you kind of flick your finger to catch the Pokemon. Also, I'm going to turn on the TV a tiny bit. You might be able to hear it in the recording. But anyway, in previous Pokemon games, the way that wild battles work was that you would encounter Pokemon in tall grass, and you wouldn't be able to see them, and they would just show up at complete random. And then you have to initiate a battle with them, where you attempt to get their HP, like their health, low, and hopefully inflict a status ailment on them, and then you start throwing Pokeballs at them automatically. Like, when you throw the Pokeball, your character just does it. You don't have to do any special input for it, except select the Pokeball. And then you just kind of keep doing that over and over again until you catch it. In this game, there are wild battles, but they're only for very special Pokemon. Only a few of them have wild battles. Excuse me. So, for 99% of the Pokemon you'll be encountering in this game, you do not battle them if you encounter them in the wild. Battling only happens against other trainers, for the most part. Anyway, hold your Joy-Con horizontally and point it straight at the screen. With the Joy-Con pointing at the screen, press the A button to ready a Pokeball. Now, see, it doesn't make any sense why they ask you to point directly at the screen and press A, because you can hold it in any position that you want, and it's just fine. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get ready, and then you can throw your Pokeball by waving your Joy-Con. Don't forget your surroundings as you go waving that Joy-Con around the place. Ha! So, even in that one screen alone, a lot of information does pass by. So you'll notice that Pikachu had a circle around it, right? And then in that bigger white circle, you saw a smaller green circle get smaller and smaller and smaller, right? Hold on, I'll wait till after the scene is done. That's a pretty fine performance for our first timer, my girl. Okay, anyway, I'll go ahead and keep explaining for right now. Actually, no, what, never mind. I'll explain it next time I get into a wild encounter, so that you can have the visual aid in front of you instead of me just telling you about it, you know, without the visual aid. Anyway, why don't we pick up that Pokeball and give the Pikachu you caught a name? What in the... Oh! Now that's a lively Pokemon if I've ever seen one. The physics of this, I have no idea how Pikachu would ever be able to do that. Hey, wait, come back! He's just standing there just waiting, like, oh, well, now there's suddenly a third Pokeball here. Professor Oak! Those Pokeballs there... I'm gonna give him a new voice. I don't want him to sound like me. Those Pokeballs there, I swear there were only... Sorry, I got some saliva stuck in my throat. I swear there were only 2 a second ago, but now there are 3. A perfectly reasonable reaction, my boy. You see, one of them is a Pikachu that Sunny caught just now. So, wait, Sunny, you caught it yourself? Gee, I wonder which ball Pikachu's in. What? I've never seen that happen before. Ho ho ho, how interesting. Well, my girl, this is it. Take that Pokeball and keep good hold of it this time. So yeah, just go ahead and pick up Pikachu. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention about the controls. If you are playing one-handed, they actually give you a pretty nifty way to interact with things. Instead of taking your finger off of the joystick to press the A button or the select button, you can press the R or the ZR button, which is the trigger on top of the Joy-Con. Either one of them also interacts with things. So you can use your thumb as a dedicated way to move your character around without having to remove it to press the A button to interact with something. And I think it's very nice. It streamlines the experience even more. Pikachu is such a cutie. Aww. Seriously, Pikachu has some extremely cute moments throughout this game. Pikachu became your Pokemon. What a strange Pokemon indeed. It sure doesn't seem to like staying in one place. But it looks as though it's taking a shine to you, Sonny. Why not give it a name? So just for the sake of this being a walkthrough that potentially first timers are going to see, I'm not going to nickname any of my Pokemon. However, this game does offer an option to nickname your Pokemon anytime you want, which is another new thing that wasn't a thing in the previous Pokemon games. So in previous games, you would have to go to a specific man called a name raider, and you can only find him maybe like halfway through the game most of the time. And only at that point in the game would you be able to rename your Pokemon while you're talking to him. So in this game, they were like, why? Just why? Why do you have to go to a specific person to rename your Pokemon? It's a reflection of your like spirit like on the Pokemon itself. It's you're giving out your Pokemon an affectionate nickname that you decided on. Just be allowed to give it a nickname whenever you feel like it. So in this game, from the menu, you can give your Pokemon a nickname literally anytime you want. And I think that's great if you are into nicknaming your Pokemon. But like I said, for this playthrough, we're just not going to nickname any of them. Also in previous games, when you caught a new Pokemon, you were allowed to nickname them right off the bat. In this game, they don't ask you that, because you have the option to nickname them whenever you feel like it. Professor, I choose this one! I always wonder what's in this one? What's in this Pokeball? Because this one wasn't here before, but it had Pikachu in it. And then you have this one over here, which had Eevee. What's over here? We never learn what this Pokemon is. If you can't see it, Pikachu's right there. Pikachu is staring at your face. For a new trainer to catch their first Pokemon by themselves, I've never seen such a thing. And we try to leave. Oh, just one more thing. Now that you two are setting out as trainers, I'd like to ask your help with something. Take this with you on your journeys. Sorry, like, all this, I don't know why, but talking and doing these voices, like, gets me all gummed up in my nose. I don't know why. What is that thing, Professor? This is the Pokédex that I've designed. It automatically records data on Pokemon you've seen or caught, and it makes an entry for each. An extremely high-tech tool. It's an extremely high-tech tool. Sunny and DiGiorno, I want you each to take one with you. I did read that correctly. That threw me off so hard while I was reading it. You got a Pokédex from Professor Oak. You'll find you can't get very detailed data on Pokemon by just seeing them. You must catch a Pokemon to gather the most complete data. To make a complete guide to all the Pokemon in the world, that was my dream. But I'm an old man now, too old to get the job done. That's why I want you young trainers to fulfill my dream for me. Get moving, you two. This is a great undertaking of Pokemon history. A Pokédex, huh? We're gonna meet so many Pokemon. This keeps getting better and better. I'm setting out right now. Sunny, you should do the same. If you think you're ready, that is. So in this game, they make your rival a little bit more of a jerk, but he's just kind of being playful about it. He doesn't actually mean the jerky things that he's saying. Uh-oh, my computer battery's running low. I didn't realize I forgot to plug it in. Hold on, I'm gonna go do that right now. Okay. Oh, how cute. This is the one you got from the professor. What? You caught it yourself? That's amazing! What should I call your new friend? Pikachu? It's a lovely Pokemon. I'm not even going to do Pikachu's voice because he doesn't himself. My, how energetic. I suppose that means you two will be setting off on an adventure today, right? I thought this day might come soon, so I planned ahead and got this for you. Town map from Mom. Aw yeah. By using that town map in your bag, you'll always know exactly where you are. Safe travels, dear. You and Pikachu be good to each other. But yeah, so now we have Pikachu. And it's just kind of following around behind us, although it won't be doing that for very long. So throughout the course of this walkthrough, I will only be talking to NPCs that can offer you something. Like, so if there's an NPC that gives you an item, or an NPC that wants to trade with you, that kind of thing, I'm only going to talk to them, just for the sake of streamlining everything. So as far as I can remember, none of the NPCs here give you anything outside of your mom, and then, you know, the fact that you get a Pikachu. So let's go ahead and go up to Route 1, and hey, what do you know? First thing we run into is an Oddish. So let me find my list of Pokemon that I wrote in the back of my little guide here, and we will see all the Pokemon that you can encounter on Route 1. Where is the list? The list. There we go. So, Route 1, the Pokemon that you can encounter by Pokedex number are Pidgey, Rattata, and Oddish. Okay. So, as I was saying before about catching Pokemon, if you notice the UI here, you'll see that Oddish has a big white circle around it. And inside that white circle is a smaller green circle that just gets smaller and smaller and smaller as time goes on. So, that circle, what you want to do is you want to try your best to throw the Pokeball so that it gets inside of that circle, and that will increase your chances of catching the Pokemon. And the smaller the circle is, the easier the Pokemon becomes to catch, but only if you manage to get inside of that circle. So if the circle is, say, 75% of the size of the bigger circle around it, you'll get a nice throw, which will increase your chances of catching the Pokemon a little bit. If it's about 50% of the size of the bigger circle, you'll get a great throw, which will increase your chances of catching it even more. And if you get it when the circle is really tiny, like 25% of the size of the entire circle, then you'll get an excellent throw, and that will increase your chances by a whole lot. And you also get experience bonuses and whatnot for catching Pokemon when the circle is tiny. Do we have anything else in our bag right now? No, we just have Pokeballs. Okay. So I'm going to try my best to just go ahead and catch this Oddish really quick. Yeah, I was a little bit off. So you'll find that the catching mechanics in this game are not quite the greatest when you're playing in TV mode. It's not always completely accurate with how you actually throw things. And especially with the setup that I have right now, it kind of makes it a little bit difficult to throw the ball exactly the way that I want to. But the ball also does go on a very specific set of tracks. So if there's a specific way you want to throw the ball, it will always go in one of several predetermined ways. So you can't really... There's also no curveball as far as I know. You always throw it straight. Okay, so looking at this screen, there's quite a bit of information going on as well. We see that we got our Oddish, which is level 4, and it's a female. Bonus multiplier is 2.4. So the bonus multiplier is determined by the list of things that you see below it. We got a bonus for the fact that Oddish is a new Pokemon, we got a bonus for the fact that it's an excellent throw, and we got a technique bonus. Now, the technique bonus is only obtainable if you're playing by using a Joy-Con. If you're using the actual motion controls to throw with your Joy-Con. So that means that if you're playing in handheld mode, which I honestly prefer, and I recommend you play in handheld mode with both Joy-Cons attached to the sides of your Switch, you will never get the technique bonus. However, in handheld mode, you have much, much more control of where your ball goes and when exactly you want to throw it and stuff like that, because all you have to do is aim with the gyro controls or, well, with the help of the left stick, and press the A button to throw it. You don't have to do any motion. So in total for this catch, we got 34 experience. Also, another note in this game is that every Pokemon in your active party always gets experience for every catch that you make and every battle that you enter. So basically, experience all is always on, and there's no way to turn it off. Which, at first I wasn't a big fan of, but the more that I played this game the first time around, the more that I came to appreciate it. It honestly streamlines the entire process, and I feel like it takes away a lot of the unnecessary grinding that a lot of previous Pokemon games kind of force you to do. Finally, if you look at the bottom of the screen here, you'll see that we got one raspberry. Raspberries are items that we can use while catching Pokemon, and the raspberry specifically makes Pokemon easier to catch in that it makes the circle a lighter color. So as you'll see a little bit later on, the circles come in different colors, with green being the easiest to catch color of circle. So Pikachu got 34 experience, and now we got Oddish. So, again, a lot of information here. The most relevant points to note are the fact that Oddish is a grass and poison type. And honestly, that's really about it. The fact that Oddish is a grass and poison type is the most important information on the screen. But we'll go ahead and read the Pokedex entry as well. It may be mistaken for a clump of weeds. If you try to yank it out of the ground, it shrieks horribly. Great. Don't try to yank an Oddish out of the ground, everybody. Just don't do it. That's basically the same as like pulling on his hair, which is not very pleasant. Okay. So let's see if we can find a Pidgey. Yeah, well, there you go. There's a Rattata right there. I was going to say, let's see if we can find a Pidgey and a Rattata and then move on. Just so we can get a little bit of practice catching all the Pokemon. And we can have like a baseline start for all the very first Pokemon in the game. And trust me, the catching stuff looks really easy in the beginning. It gets pretty crazy later on, not going to lie. Especially when you get to higher level Pokemon and Pokemon that are on the legendary and mythical side of things, the catching stuff gets a lot more intense. Alright, so yeah, as you saw right there, we got some level ups. Pikachu up to level 6, Oddish up to level 5, and Pikachu learned a new attack called Quick Attack. But we haven't gotten to a battle yet, so we'll just save that conversation for a bit later. And now we have Rattata, which is a normal type. Rattata will chew on anything with its fangs. If you see one, you can be certain that 40 more live in the area. Yeah, Rattata love to swarm. I would have quicked in a Pokemon, but they're literally rats. So, oh hey, and there you go, there's a Pidgey. See, we found all 3 Pokemon on this route without even trying. Without even leaving, like, the first little area. Alright, and Shaban. I only got a great. Oh well, that should be good enough. So if we manage to find another Pidgey, I will actually go and try and catch it, and when that moment comes, I'll explain why I want to catch more than one Pidgey in a row. So let's see. I'm just taking a quick look at my notes right over here, and it doesn't seem like there's anything urgent at the moment for me to talk to you guys about, so we're good to go for a little bit. Alright, and Pidgey is a normal and flying type Pokemon. Very docile. If attacked, it will often kick up sand to protect itself rather than fight back. Which is funny because, actually no. Okay, yeah, Pidgey is the more docile one. Spearow is the one that's kind of a jerk. Spearow will straight up attack if it feels like it's being threatened. Okay, so here's another Pidgey. So now I'm going to tell you guys about catch combos. Wow, okay. See, that's an example of the motion control is not quite working very well, because I threw that entirely straight and just veered all the way out to the right. You know, I clearly did not try to do that. Okay, so now we have our second Pidgey in a row. And now, you'll notice underneath the bonus multipliers, we have a combo bonus. We also got a Pineapple Berry, which may or may not be because of the catch bonus. And Pineapple Berries make it so that you are more likely to get items after catching a Pokemon. Then we got a couple more level ups for Pikachu and Oddish. Okay. Sorry, you can probably hear my controller clicking. So we got a catch combo 2. Keep it up. So when you get a catch combo, you get more experience for catching that specific Pokemon more than one time in a row. Actually, does this kid have anything? Oh no, he just tells you about ledges. So when you get a catch combo, you get more experience for catching a specific Pokemon over and over again. And an added bonus, if you aren't into shiny Pokemon. Yep, okay, here we go. So your follower Pokemon will often find hidden items. Sorry, I didn't mean to like stray off track. And in this bush, I believe it should be a potion or something. Let me see. Nope, a raspberry. Yeah, I forgot some. I never saw this one until a little bit later in the game when I was taking notes, so I forgot. I never wrote down the note for it. But yeah, so you can find a raspberry in this little patch. But yeah, so if you're into shiny Pokemon, then I think this little kid I think battles you later. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry if you guys heard that right now. That was my upstairs neighbor, and I guess they dropped something. It was extremely loud. I apologize for that. Yeah, so you're going to be able to battle that kid later. Anyway, as I was saying, about catch combos. If you catch the same Pokemon over and over again, you increase your chances of finding a shiny type Pokemon. Not a shiny type, but a shiny version of the Pokemon that you've been catching over and over again. Oh, I don't need to be at the Pokemon Center. I haven't gotten into a battle yet. So let's see, what to do in Viridian City the first time around. Okay, so there should be a potion. Oop. Did you find something else, Pikachu? Or are you just liking the flowers? Oh, you're just enjoying the flowers. That's cute. Okay, so I have in my notes here that you can find a potion next to a tree. I think I meant the tree all the way up here. So yeah, if you just go up along this honestly completely useless side road. Yep, there's a hidden potion right there on the ground. There are a lot of hidden items throughout the game, and at first there's no real way to detect where they are, but the more you play, well, in a little bit we'll be able to, we'll have a convenient way to find Pokemon. Also, hey, if you guys watch the anime, these three might look a little bit familiar to you. Let's see what they have to say. What are you doing, twerp? Shoot, go pester someone else. What do you want? You can't just pass through here right now. We're in the middle of guard duty and it's very important. Okay, so you can't actually interact with those folks quite yet. But where we have to go is over here to the Pokemon. Hey, you came up from Palatine? You must know Professor Oak, right? I've got a delivery for him, but I really can't leave the Pokemon unattended right now. Can I get you to take this to Professor Oak for me? So yeah, in the first game, in the original version of this game, they ask you to go to the Pokemon and pick up this parcel specifically. But in this game, they don't really tell you that. They're just like, hey, go and adventure. And then you just like go to the Pokemon and this guy has a parcel and you just take it from him and you go to Professor Oak. Like, yeah, I don't know. I find it kind of weird that they don't give you a specific purpose for going up here. Anyway, you can go ahead and hit yes to go straight back to the lab to just fast travel, and then you can give Professor Oak the parcel. Why, Sunny, back so soon? How is little Pikachu doing? Little cutie. There we go. That's where Pikachu belongs. Goodness me, Pikachu here seems like it's really come to be a true partner to you, Sunny. I swallowed the word partner there, I'm sorry. I think you got what it takes to become a great Pokemon trainer. What's that? You've got something for me? Oh, so my order arrived. Thank you for bringing it to me. Hey, Professor Oak! It's about my Eevee, its moves are... Whoa, Sunny, that's so cool! Pikachu just rides on you like that? Ah, and now we have DiGiorno as well. What fine timing. I've just been delivered... It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. I've just been delivered some very handy items, which I think I'll share with the two of you. Yay, free raspberries. They give you a lot of free items in this game, like a lot. You start off with 50 Pokeballs, like 50. Great, I've been starving. I'll stop you right there, son. Those berries are for Pokemon to eat, not you. When you want to catch a Pokemon, try throwing one of those at your target before you take a Pokeball in hand. You'll find that wild Pokemon will be so happy to have a berry to nibble on that they'll become much easier for you to catch. That was close. I nearly swallowed one of them right up myself. Now then, you two. It's up to you to decide if you want to catch lots of different Pokemon or simply focus on training up your favorites. My only request is that you have fun either way. See, the journey, the only important thing about the journey is that you have a good time. Okay, so before we move on and end the episode, we have our full, well, not quite our full list of items, but we have most of our menu opened up to us. So communicate. I would imagine this is pretty self-explanatory, but this is where you go for your online functionality. If you want your mystery gifts, you can go right over here, and then it opens up a menu to see how you want to get your mystery gift, either via the internet or via a code/password. As far as I know, there are no mystery gifts that are being given out right now, so this is just kind of useless at the moment. In the future, though, keep a lookout for any announcements by Nintendo or the Pokemon Company about mystery gifts that are coming to Pokemon Let's Go, because you can get some pretty cool free stuff. And then you have over here the play with others. So this is your way to do trading and battling with other players of the game. Nearby player, if somebody else has a Switch nearby, just go ahead and select this one. You guys can connect and do whatever you gotta do. If you wanna go over the internet, well, you need to have an internet connection, and then you need to have a subscription to the Nintendo Switch online service or whatever, which I don't have because I think it's mostly pointless aside from playing games online. And I'm kind of sad that we were able to play games online for free before, and now we kind of can't, and the online isn't actually any better than it used to be. It is only $20 for an entire year, but I've literally had zero reason to invest in this, so I just haven't. And then over here we have our party. So from the party menu, you get to see all the Pokemon that you have currently active that you can use in battle. And then you can select a specific Pokemon. You can like check their summary, which we'll do right now. And then we just have like lists of information about each of our Pokemon. And then on the right here, you see that we have all of our Pokemon stats in a big hex. Is that a hexagon? Hold on. Hex is 6, right? Yes. Yes. I believe I've consulted with my brain, and I believe that that is a hexagon, indeed. Okay. So, understanding stats. HP. It's your Pokemon's health. That's how much damage they can take before they faint. Attack power is how much damage they do with physical attacks. Defense is how much they can resist physical attacks. Special attack is how much damage they do with special attacks, and special defense is how much damage they can resist from special attacks. And speed is basically just how fast they are. It basically determines if they're going to go first or second, or third or fourth, depending on a double battle. And then on the left, you have your list of moves. Let's go ahead and look at what Pikachu has. So Thundershock, an electric type move, has 30 PP. PP it stands for power points, and it's the amount of times that you can use a move before having to use a recovery item to get it back. To get your PP back, I mean. Then we see a category. The symbol that you see right there, the like blue circles, that means that this is a special attack with a power of 40 and it has an accuracy of 100%. In the description, a jolt of electricity crashes down on the target to inflict damage. This may also leave the target with paralysis. We'll learn more about status effects and conditions a little bit later on. So, but an important thing to remember is that that little symbol over there, the way that it looks, means that it is a special attack. And if we go back, we'll see that Pikachu's special attack is 18, which means that Pikachu's special attack, not bad. A little bit worse than his regular attack, but special attack is definitely there. Oh, I didn't mean to hit that button. So, next up we're going to go to Growl. Now, when you see this gray icon, that means that it is a move that is not physical or special. It's a move that inflicts specific status conditions on the other Pokemon. So this move could be specifically for paralyzing a Pokemon, putting a Pokemon to sleep, or like this move, lowering a Pokemon's stats. Excuse me. So, Growl specifically, the user growls in an endearing way, making opposing Pokemon less wary. This lowers their attack stat. So Growl, if you want to lower your enemy's attack, you can just go ahead and use that. Accuracy of 100, no power because it's not an attack. Tail Whip. Pretty much the same as Growl, but it lowers defense. And then Quick Attack. Now that symbol right there with the with the orange and yellow with the crashing icon means that it's a physical attack. So this one has a power of 40 and an accuracy of 100. And this move always goes first. So this is what you might call a priority move. There are several moves throughout the game that are priority moves. And if you use them, even if your Pokemon is slower than the other one with speed, it will go first all the time. Unless the other Pokemon happens to use the exact same move as you, and they have a higher speed stat, then they'll go first instead of you. And one last thing to touch on while we're still here is to talk about Stab, which is the same type attack bonus. So Stab basically means if you use an attack that is the same type as a Pokemon using it, you will do 50% more damage. So what that means is, for Pikachu here, if you use Thundershock, because Pikachu himself is an electric type Pokemon, Thundershock will do 50% more damage than if Pikachu was not an electric type Pokemon. Quick Attack, however, is a normal type move, so Pikachu does not get a stab bonus from that, well, the same type attack bonus from that. Saying stab bonus is kind of redundant because bonus is the B in stab. So anyway, what I'm saying is, Quick Attack will only do the base amount of damage because Pikachu is not a normal type Pokemon. Thundershock will do 50% more damage because Pikachu is an electric type Pokemon and Thundershock is an electric type move. And then, oh yeah, you'll notice up in the top right, CP51. It honestly doesn't really mean anything. It's just kind of a carryover from Pokemon Go, and it's kind of a measurement so that you can keep track of just how strong your Pokemon is in the grand scheme of things, but it doesn't have any actual effect on anything. So don't really worry about that all that much. It's basically just fun to look at, you know, to see how your Pokemon ranks compared to everything else, I suppose. Alright, and then we go over to Oddish here. Now, with Oddish, take note of the top right where it says Nature Modest. Now, Pikachu over here has a docile nature. If you look at Pikachu's stat hexagon thingy, you'll see that all of the stats are just displayed in plain white text. Go over to Oddish though. Oddish has special attack in red, regular attack in blue. And it has a modest nature. So, Pokemon, if I remember correctly, has 16 different natures. Is it 16? It might be more than 16. I don't quite remember. But depending on these natures, specific stats will get boosted and other stats... Oh, I don't know why this is happening. So specific stats will get boosted and other stats will get held back, more or less. So what's Oddish's nature again? Modest? The modest nature increases special attack and decreases attack. So when you see a status that is in red, like special attack here, that means that when this Pokemon levels up, it will get an extra boost in that stat. So when Oddish here levels up, she will get a specific boost in special attack, and then when she levels up, attack has a higher chance of not getting very much of a boost, if any boost at all. And while we're here and talking about this, the fact that Oddish has a docile nature, not a docile, is it? No, it's modest. Modest nature is probably the best one that you could possibly ask for Oddish, because Oddish is a special attack specific Pokemon. If we look up Absorb here, you notice it is a special attack. Absorb is also an attack that drains HP from the opponent and gives it back to the person the Pokemon that used it. So, since Oddish has this nature that increases a special attack, this specific Oddish would be really, really good to use on my team. However, I won't be using it because I want to use a different team than what I had last time. So I'm not going to be using this Oddish. I probably won't be using any of the Pokemon that I caught early on, the Pidgey or the Rattata. But full acknowledgement that this Oddish is a very good Oddish. And again, same type attack bonus stuff. Because Oddish is grass type and Absorb is grass type, Absorb will deal 50% more damage. I keep doing that by accident. And then we have Growth down here as well. If you look at Growth, you'll see that it is not an attacking move. The user grows all at once, and raising the attack and special attack stats. So this is a buff move for Oddish. So I'm not going to go through every single attack for every single Pokemon and like all this stuff for every single Pokemon. I just want to try to give a general gist of how attacks work, how natures work, what the stats are. Because if you're new to Pokemon and all you really had before was Pokemon Go, where you had the CP that you can see up in the right corner, and that's pretty much it as far as how to gauge how strong your Pokemon is, this can be a lot of information to take in. And I feel like the game doesn't really do very much to clue you in on what all this stuff actually means. So yeah. Then we have Rattata and we got 2 Pidgeys. But we're not going to really worry about those. If anything, I'm still thinking about what kind of team I want to use, but for right now, we're just going to stick with Pikachu. Oh, also, while we're at it, if you notice in the bottom screen where all the menu items are, you can choose take out a Pokeball. So for right now, let's take Rattata out of her Pokeball. Oh, all the Pokemon that I caught so far are female, except for Pikachu. Interesting. So when you have a follow Pokemon, it starts following you around. Rattata itself is kind of sporadic. It will run ahead of you if it can, and stuff like that. But Pokemon have different following styles. Like Rattata here will run ahead of you and just be generally very fast. Most Pokemon will just kind of follow behind you. Some Pokemon will run slower than you, so they kind of like lose pace. And some Pokemon you can ride on. I mean, I'm not sure if you can actually ride on, but you can ride on several Pokemon. Okay. Anyway, back to explaining more menu things. Bag. This bag has so many things. And this can take a minute to explain. But the brief of it is, Pokemon Box. This is where every single Pokemon that you ever catch is going to wind up. There are no more PCs in this game. The computers that you put your Pokemon into in previous games no longer exist. Instead, you have a Pokemon Box, which I believe can hold up to 1,000 Pokemon. So you'll basically never run out of room as long as you're transferring Pokemon on a regular basis. Although speaking of transferring Pokemon, what you can do in here is you can remove... Oh yeah, also, you notice these numbers next to all the Pokemon? That is the number that your Pokemon appears in your active party. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's because Pikachu's in slot number 1, Oddish in slot 2, Rattata 3, Pidgey 4 and 5. So Pokemon with numbers next to them are in your active party. And actually, let's go ahead and take this Pidgey out of the party. So if there's no... Oh, whoops. So there's no number next to the Pokemon, that means that they're not in the party. So if we click on a Pokemon, you can move the Pokemon around in your box, check their summary like we did before, change their name, this is where you do the nickname, and then change markings. What I like to do is for every unique Pokemon that I get, I immediately favorite it. And in this game, especially if you have a completionist mindset, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you get into the habit of favoriting new Pokemon. Now, you could be more discerning than me and only favorite Pokemon that have beneficial natures, but, I mean, I don't really care personally. Like, every nature is kind of whatever. The point is, for end-game, like post-game content, having one of every single Pokemon ready to go is actually going to be pretty helpful to you. So, just keep that in mind. So yeah, I go ahead and favorite all of the Pokemon that I get, and then to keep everything in order, press the Y button or the left button to sort, and what I always do is I sort with favorites on top. But what this does is it sorts all of your favorites by Pokédex order, which for me makes it a little bit easier to keep track of everything, because keeping everything in Pokédex order just, I don't know, it just makes sense to me at this point after having spent so much time with Pokemon. It keeps all of your unique Pokemon at the top, and all the Pokemon that you don't favorite are at the bottom. So, all of our Pokemon are now sorted in Pokédex order. Now, let's go ahead and transfer this Pidgey and see what happens. So, when you have a Pokemon that's not in your party, you can choose Send to Professor. And then the screen changes and the Pokemon gets this little like circle behind it. From this area, you can select more than this one Pokemon, and then you can just like mass select up to 30 Pokemon to send to the professor all at once. And when you're ready to send, press the Y button, and then just confirm that you do want to send. So what I just did was I sent Pidgey to Professor Oak. And then whenever you do this, you get candies that you can give to your Pokemon. So for a Pidgey, you get a quick candy. Now the kind of candies that you get depend on which Pokemon you send to the professor. If a Pokemon is known for being especially speedy, you'll get a quick candy. If it's known for being especially defensive, you'll get like a tough candy, and so on and so forth. Since Pidgey's main stat is speed, I got a quick candy. So, let's go back to our bag and go down to the candy jar and see what we can do with that. So as you can see here, quick candy, if you look in the bottom left, increases your speed by 1. I'm going to go ahead and use it on my Pikachu. And you see down there that it says it needs 1. So as your Pokemon stats increase, they will need more and more candies to further increase those stats via candy. So for right now, since everybody's stats are pretty low, they only need one of a kind of candy to increase their stat. And later on, you'll get different kinds of candies that will have different effects. You can also get candies specific to certain Pokemon. Over here, we have our medicine pocket. And so far, we only have one potion, but this is where you're going to go to find all of your restorative items. Our clothing trunk, which we don't have anything in, but once we start getting outfits, we can dress up Pikachu and Sunny. Over here we have the TM case. There's nothing in it for right now, but TMs are reusable kind of like disc things that you can use on Pokemon to teach them specific moves. It's extremely useful for a Pokemon that like can't learn a specific move and you really want them to learn a move. Catch pocket is where you're going to keep all of your items that you use on the catch screen. So your Pokeballs and your berries, basically. If you want to scroll through the berries really quick, the raspberry makes it easier to catch Pokemon. The Nanab berry makes it so that Pokemon move around less. And then the Pinap berry makes it so that, actually the Nanab berry doesn't make them move around less, it makes them stop moving whatsoever. And by moving, I mean they don't go left and right, they don't jump around, and they don't attack. They just stand completely still. Also, the additional effect of this berry is that the circle for catching them that shortens goes slower. And then you have the Pinap berry, which increases your chances of catching a Pokemon. Or not catching a Pokemon, increases your chances of getting an item from catching a Pokemon. There we go. Then over here we have the power-up pocket. When we start getting stuff, we're going to have stuff like evolutionary stones and like PP ups to increase our maximum PP that go into this pocket. And then battle pocket. This is where our battle items go. So X attack, X defense, and stuff like that. Battle items are items that can only be used in battle, they can only be used one time each, and they only work in that specific battle. So if you use an X attack, for example, you will increase the Pokemon that you use the X attack on, you'll increase their attack stat, and then they will have that effect for the rest of the battle, as long as you don't switch them out, I think. I'm not sure about the switching out thing. And for right now, we have the time map, which if you select this, you can see everywhere. You can see the entirety of Kanto. And for right now, not very much is filled in because things get filled in as you visit them. And then finally, last but not least, we have our Pokedex. This is basically where you're going to go if you want to look up information about Pokemon that you've seen and caught. So we can look at Pikachu's Pokedex entry that says, this forest only Pokemon stores electricity in its cheeks, so you'll feel a tingly shock if you touch it. So yeah, they basically give you flavor text, they give you the typing of the Pokemon, and then if you say check habitat instead of check data, the Pokedex will show you every location in the world that the Pokemon shows up in. However, I have an issue with this. Okay, so hopefully I can keep up with my HUD on screen, and you'll notice that on the right, I have which Pokemon you can find in the various areas that we go to. This Pokedex does not have full and accurate information. It does not. There are a few Pokemon that I found in specific locations that the Pokedex says do not show up in those locations. For instance, later on, in Mount Moon, like spoilers for right now, but when we get to Mount Moon, there is a chance that we will be able to find a Chansey. You can find Chansey in Mount Moon. However, if you look in the Pokedex and you check Chansey, it will say Habitat Unknown. And when it says Habitat Unknown, that means that you cannot find the Pokemon in the wild. But that is not true. Chansey is just one example of this happening. There are, like I said, a few Pokemon that the game does this for, and it's extremely stupid and annoying, and I don't know why they did that. Anyway, I just had to rant about that for a second, because it made compiling information just a tiny bit harder, and I'm not a fan of that. So if the information that you see on the right is not 100% accurate with what happens in your game, I'm sorry. It's all based on the notes that I took myself, and if there's anything that I missed, honestly, you can blame it on the Pokedex. Okay, so now that I've explained all of that, let's try to leave and see what happens. Wait up! Come on, Sunny. You do know you can do more with Pokemon than just catch him, right? If you're a trainer, you can have Pokemon battles with other trainers too. I'll show you exactly what I mean. It's battle time! Yeah, we're gonna have our first battle with our rival. So, actually, again, sorry, I'm gonna pause really quick before we go on. In this battle, in the first 2 battles that you can actually have with your trainer, the outcomes determine which Pokemon your trainer's Eevee is going to evolve into later on. Now, losing these battles is extremely difficult because chances are you already have more than one Pokemon, and 1 versus 4 in this specific scenario is not very fair. But let me see if I can find the specific note that I wrote down for how this whole thing works while we're going through the battle. Let me see. Go ahead and do my next move really quick while I'm looking. But I think I remember where the evolution happens. Eevee's still kicking. Good job, Eevee. Hanging in there. Okay, so... No, that's still... Where's the rival battle where you have already evolved Eevee? Because I wrote down the note there. Okay, there it is. So, if by chance you want your rival to evolve Eevee into a specific Pokemon, this is the way that it works. Okay. So, if you win against your rival in this battle, and you win against the rival in the next battle that we're going to be doing in the next episode, your rival will evolve your Eevee into Jolteon. If you lose one of these 2 battles, it doesn't matter which one. You can lose this one and win the next one, or you can win this one and lose the next one. Your rival will evolve his Eevee into Flareon. If you lose both battles, your rival will evolve Eevee into Vaporeon. So that's just a little note there. If for whatever reason you want your rival to evolve Eevee into a specific Pokemon, remember, if you win both, it'll become Jolteon. If you win one and lose the other, it'll become Flareon. And if you lose both, it'll become Vaporeon. Anyway, let's move on. And yeah, sorry, like these first couple episodes are going to be kind of slow because there's a lot of stuff to explain, especially if you're a first timer to Pokemon. And there's even a lot of changes for like veterans of the series. Like it took me a minute to get used to how everything works in this game. Ah, geez, there I went mouthing off like I knew everything, and then I lost. How embarrassing. I don't remember how this guy's voice is anymore. I probably should have trained up my Pokemon a bit. Wait. I probably should train my Pokemon up a bit before trying a battle like that, huh? Let's battle again sometime. Did you enjoy your first taste of battle, young Sonny? Your partner Pikachu seemed to like it. Okay. But yeah, so I think we're gonna go ahead and leave off the episode right here. I had some technical difficulties in the beginning, and this episode also went on a bit longer than I planned for my future episodes to go. So hopefully, once we get past this whole tutorial, expository part of the game, things will become a bit more streamlined, and it won't be just me teaching you how things work. Alright, so thank you for joining me so far, and I will see you on the next episode. Goodbye.